Hello everyone, I'm Krasi and this is my astrological week for the 7 days of the week. I will make a brief overview of the week of the celestial configurations, and then we'll be looking at the 7 days to see what is going on. So briefly, what to tell you, it's a challenging week because the most important planets which we need to give us abundance, blessing, joy, are turning invisible. Jupiter is already invisible. Saturn was invisible already from weeks ago. And now Venus in 5 days will become invisible in sidereal Sagittarius. So this is what doesn't make me very, very positive for the week, because you see, we really need the presence of Jupiter and Venus to save us from any malefic influences. So what is happening also this week is that Jupiter and Uranus are forming exact conjunction. Uranus is also stationary. So this conjunction of the two planets, which are always related to sudden changes, to unexpected and sudden influences, are joining. And this is serious because in the very moment of their conjunction, they will be creating disharmonious aspect towards the Sun, Saturn, Jupiter, and Mercury. And Mercury is the only planet who is in a phase of becoming visible. This would hopefully say that our minds will remain awake, hopefully, at the moment of this square. It's malefic square. It will be influencing the whole week. Now, I don't want to sound negative. I am not, because among all these celestial events, I remain positive indeed, because I know this is a challenging week. We live in challenging times, but it is decided by the Creator to be so, and it is for the good of our collective consciousness, for our awakening, if you want. So it can't be bad. Also, even though Venus becomes invisible, she still creates harmonious aspect to Uranus and Mars, so it can't be bad. It is challenging indeed, but it is also not forever. And we cannot always live in perfect joy, because then we will not appreciate it. That is why in this our universe there are stages and epochs and era and mini eras, and if you want, cycles of joy and difficulty. This is very, very natural. So what is happening is not to be sad. It is more to see what is the impact on our souls. But speaking really technically on our materialistic levels, I would say that this will be a difficult week, which can invoke different events of that will be not easy, like further manipulation, because you know that Capricorn is the sign of the government, the sign of restrictions, of the karma, if you want. And this will be about further attempts of of power, of the governments, of establishing rules. All this can be furthered, unfortunately, not forever. They're desperate. Remember, that is why all this is happening. But this can happen, and people will be opposing this for sure, because Jupiter and Mars are our reaction of sudden reaction, if you want. So there will be this war, which is war on heaven, is manifested on earth. So the week is not appropriate, obviously, for new beginnings. I would stay as far as I could from medical interventions, unless you apply really natural sources of influence on your medical condition, for example, because Capricorn is the land, it's the earth. So this is another thing. And then new beginnings not. It is more about expanding our consciousness, connecting with earth. Connecting with earth, I don't say just because it sounds so beautiful, but it is because Capricorn is all about the earth. He is ruled by Nana. This is the god by Ninurta, excuse me. This is the god of agriculture, obviously. The heavier the Saturn energies go, the more we need to attach to the ground and the products of the ground and live in harmony with nature. This is not just wishful thinking, this is the fact. So this is one thing. So the week will not be harmonious. We need to stay away from trouble, especially if you have Capricorn ascendant, Aries ascendant, or descendants Aries and Capricorn, or Capricorn or Aries on key positions in your horoscopes. This is very important. So the week is appropriate mainly for working with the ground, working doing agriculture work, researching ancient history, ancient world. This is also important because of the nature of Capricorn and the invisible planets. Now expanding your consciousness, because don't forget, when the planet become invisible and they descend into the netherworld, it's a lot about occultism and secrecy. So to stay away from the bad impacts of the world so-called elite occultism, we need to be connected with nature. That's the only way. And to stay away from the mainstream media, which has the only and sole purpose to manipulate. So, and now let's see what is happening on Monday. Monday is the 4th lunar day, and actually it's a very interesting lunar day because it is 18th of January and the moon is exactly creating harmonious trine to Pluto, which is actually not bad. So it's harmonious trine. Indeed, it is about reaching depth. And the moon is in the very last degrees of Aquarius, very spiritual, very philosophical, and maybe daring too. So this is what we can do, indeed, expand our consciousness more this week. We unfortunately can't do it. Won't be beneficial financially too. Such is the week. But to travel, well, you may feel restricted, and you may be a victim of restrictions even if you travel. And this will be valid for the 7 days to come. So Monday is ruled by the moon. If you welcome the sun, you can really imagine the white color or the blue, and you can really have in your mind consciously that this is there ruled by the moon. And you can also eat some food products which are ruled by the moon. And then we have Tuesday, day of Mars, and Venus is also about to disappear in another 4 days, and this is the 5th lunar day, another very important lunar day, very spiritual placement of the moon in Pisces, sextiling the sun, sextiling the great conjunction of Sun, Saturn, Jupiter, Mercury in Capricorn. So this will be again very supportive if you want to plant already something, to work with in your garden, very benevolent. And days ruled by Mars, so we need to be careful. They can be also very emotional. We need to be careful not to get involved into risky situations, not to, just to stay away from risks, from conflicts. New businesses, not medical interventions. If you can avoid, better avoid. So Mars ruling the day. Red is the color. If you welcome in the sun, imagine the shower of red would be very, very benevolent for you. And then Wednesday, 20th of January, 6th lunar day. The moon is creating harmonious aspect to Mercury, very good for spiritual work, education, expanding consciousness, imagination, spiritual degrees too. Wednesday's day ruled by Mercury. Mercury, you know, is all about knowledge, intellectual capabilities, and happily, moon is trining Mercury, who is visible. You will be able to see Mercury on the evening sky. Shortly after the sun becomes below the horizon, you will be able to see Mercury. This is true blessing. Then you can ask him for knowledge. So this is a very beautiful position of Mercury, who is having particular dignities in Capricorn and can work in structuring your knowledge, studying, can give you a very good structure. Now is the time, if you want to start studying something, do it now. It's really beautiful. So exactly on the Wednesday. Then on Wednesday, you welcome the sun. You imagine, Mercury is visible. You imagine that you get in the shower of green or lemony yellow, and the color, of course, would be this green. And then let's see, Thursday, 7th lunar day, 21st of January, critical lunar day, very critical because of the number 7, and also because the moon is exactly conjoined with Uranus and Mars, squaring the great conjunction in Capricorn. A very tricky day. We need to remember Thursday to be careful. Thursday to be careful for anything. And in the morning, welcome the sun, knowing Jupiter is ruling the day. Imagine orange, yellow shower around yourselves. And then let's see, Friday, 22nd of January, 8th lunar day, another critical lunar day. The moon is just separating from this conjunction with Jupiter and Uranus, but it's still valid. Friday, critical lunar day. Be careful not to get involved into conflicts. Be careful how you communicate with people. Be careful how you travel, how you share your knowledge. The day is tricky a little bit. Good to organize your work, good to organize your studies, good to organize your documentations, administration if you want. For this, the day is fine. And Friday, welcome the sun. Venus is ruling the day. And imagine pink or white shower around yourselves. And now Venus is ruling the day. Then we have in Saturday, 23rd of January, 9th lunar day, the last day of visibility of Venus as a morning star. She becomes invisible. I will make a separate video just to explain you what is she capable of doing and giving us during her invisible phase. So yes, this is another important thing. And Jupiter, the moon on Saturday, ruled by Saturn, is trining exactly Pluto. Good for your imagination, really, for working with the occult, in a good sense, for your spiritual work, for knowledge. The day is tricky otherwise because the moon is approaching conjunction with our goal. So we need to be careful not to get involved into risky situations. New beginnings, not. Financially, the day may be a bit better than the days before, but Saturday is day ruled by Saturn. Saturn is ruling the day. When you welcome the sun, imagine that you're having a shower of dark blue, for example, and that you get the blessing of Saturn and that he is removing the difficulties around yourself. And then we have in Sunday, 24th of January, 10th lunar day, the moon is conjoined Aldebaran, star of money, the first and most important royal stars of money, trining Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, the sun. This is very interesting, benevolent day. For also financially could be a good day, but Venus becomes invisible, so well, this is a little bit tricky indeed. So this is about Sunday. Not appropriate for new financial initiatives. It's more that this day can give you benefits from what you have already started or from the activities that you're already doing. So maintain the status quo, do efforts to make good financial results of the day, but not as something new. For spiritual awakening, for working with for working in the garden, planting beautiful flowers and trees. Beautiful moment. This is one of the things. To travel, I would really avoid on this day too. And because it is the day of the sun, welcome the sun. Imagine that the sun is ruling the day. The sun is ruling actually every day, but this day maybe the most. Imagine the color orange, red. And yes, enjoy the week, not looking at the negative sides of the week, but looking at what the week is doing for our consciousness. So this is, and remain positive. Remember, everything happening to us now is designed by the higher powers of the Creator, and later better times will come, because such are the cycles of the universe. And we're living the life astrology now. So it's very beautiful, actually. So see you soon.